What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. It is Friday night, and look, on Fridays we do the Dynasty Q&A, and it has been the off-season Q&As up to this point so far, but as you guys can tell by the thumbnail, it says preseason now. Preseason football is here. We just had the Hall of Fame game last night. Carson Beck looks like the next GOAT, according to Fantasy Football Twitter. But yeah, man, that is kind of just where we're at right now. So excited to see what we get into here tonight. As always, I want to thank everybody who was here early, tapping in with us, hanging out with the intro song, doing all that good stuff. Insidious, Jay Loading, Rob, Alex, Vikings, Dan, everybody, Fault, everybody who's been in here. Dixon, I see you guys. Appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Look, as always, we're going to go for about 1 hour. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can in that 1 hour. So throw them in the chat. I'm going to get through them as quickly as I can, but let's not waste any more time, baby. Let's get into it. So the first question that I got here is going to be from Jay Loading. He says that he is in he needs dire help with this trade. It's a 12-team super flex, start 11, tight end premium, half point full PPR, 6-point passing touchdown. Says he has Joe Burrow and Lamar and a running back room, or in the running back room is H.N. Judkins, Rashad White, and he has a strong chance of winning this year. Asking, should he trade Lamar and White for Herbert and Jadarian Price? That is probably a trade that I would be making. I mean, I know that in rankings right now, Lamar Jackson is higher than Herbert. Hell, in my own right now, I have Lamar Jackson higher than Herbert, but the 6-point passing touchdown matters there. I do think that helps kind of fill in the gap a little bit between Herbert and Lamar. You still have the rushing with Lamar, but that upgrade from going from Rashad White to Jadarian Price, I think it is definitely something I would be doing. And it sounds like you are already kind of leaning towards it already. And Insidious helped you out here in the chat. So appreciate you guys for sure. Alex, my guy, what's up, dude? Appreciate you being in here. We also got this one from Rob that says, when will you be running your next mock draft for us to sign up to do in the Discord? We'll have to figure out a good time to do that. Honestly, I have a vacation coming up next week, so really this upcoming week of content has already been pre-planned and pre-recorded, but after that, we can kind of get into it. Doing one more startup before the season starts maybe isn't a bad idea, so good shout on that, Rob. We'll try and get into that. What's up, Fault? All right, Vikings says, need your opinion here on a trade that that has been paused a few times. Is receiving Loveland and a 27th third enough when setting out Judkins and a mid to late 27 first? Superflex tight end premium. I think it really depends on the premium here. Loveland is the most valuable player in this deal, in my opinion. Late 27 first to a contender is probably should still be treated as a late first. They're probably overvalued in the trade market. If that premium is anything like 0.75 or a full point for the premium, it's worth doing. And I totally apologize. I do see we got the super chat in there that we will get to right next. But yeah, I think if it's a 0.75 or a 2 point, I think that's where you have to go with it. And he says he already has Bowers and Sadiq, but like the thought of having the tight end God squad. I don't mind it either. It's probably very fair as far as compensation goes. All right, Kevin, I apologize, man. You know, typically the super chats are the way to skip the line, and I saw that come in and then I missed it, but apologize for you folks at home. If you want to skip the line, super chat is the way to do it. Kevin, my guy, appreciate you, says, give my Judkins, Brooks, Addison, and Rasheed Rice, that's crazy. Rasheed Rice, now I'm going to do it 100 times, and Brees. Strong contender, 12 by 9, both would be flex plays. All right, this is interesting because I think Rice, in comparison to Judkins, you could have a coin flip and really go either way with those two. But when it comes down to Addison and Brooks versus Brees, I really do think Brees is the upgrade there. So for me, on a strong contender, I'm probably going to go with Rasheed Rice here and Brees Hall. You get to replace the Judkins running back with Brees, and then obviously a pretty decent upgrade in a points per game metric over the last couple of years from Rasheed Rice to Jordan Addison. So I would do that if I'm getting the Rice and Brees side there. Let's get back over to some of these questions here. Dan says, just offered 2 firsts for Tom I mean, Carson Beck, praying they accept. Yeah, that's where we're at right now with him in fantasy. It seems like everybody's ready for football and getting back into it. I see Pete in here. Pete, what's up, man? Says football's back. Dixon says, what are your thoughts on the Hall of Fame game? Anything that moves the needle on fantasy relevant players? I don't think anything, at this point moves the needle for me far. I think Carson Beck is obviously the one that you got to talk about. I thought this was a guy who was going to play some games for the Cardinals here this year, and he looked good. I mean, he's a very seasoned prospect coming in. He's played in big games at big programs, multiple national championship appearances for Carson Beck, and obviously played well in those big performances at times. So, this is a guy who has the experience. The talent has always kind of been the question for Beck, is like, where's the ceiling, the high-end range of outcomes? But I do think this is a guy who probably gets some starting rep for Arizona at some point this year. Whether it's going to be sooner or later, I don't know. But, if you're trying to look glass half full and be real, optimistic about the approach with Carson Beck, look last year at Tyler Shuck for the New Orleans Saints. And I think Beck could be on Tyler Shuck pathway heading into 2026 if some dominoes fall in the right places for him. So that's the big takeaway for me, is that I thought Beck was going to play games this year. I almost feel like it's guaranteed Beck plays games here this year for the Arizona Cardinals now. Let's see. What's going on, iKill? Appreciate you. Jack, what's up, man? Felix, my guy, says pick one in redraft PPR leagues. Hampton, Saquon, Chase Brown, and Genty. Please break down the pros and cons. Man, I've been so disconnected from redraft this year since we haven't really been doing content too much around it. However, I can give you my best ball takes because I've been ripping a lot of best ball drafts. So if I were to be drafting these guys right now, Genty would be the first guy off the board for me. Just think super talented guy, has the ability to go out and play, as a receiver and as a rusher in that offense. Probably has top 7 upside this season. Chase Brown and Hampton would kind of be in the next range for me, and then Saquon after that. I like Chase Brown's full PPR upside in that type of format. Full PPR leagues, he should catch a lot of passes. He caught a lot of them last year behind I think he was only behind Christian McCaffrey in receptions, so I expect more of the same for him. But that's kind of where I'm at with those guys. Saquon, I'm just worried about age and some regression from that offense, with Saquon being a year older and the loss of A.J. Brown. So that's kind of where I'm at with those guys. Hampton is obviously everybody's favorite breakout candidate. But Genty would probably be my number one, and then from there, I'm thinking about Brown or Hampton. Let's see. Alex says, traded a third for Pearsall in a full rebuild. He can chill on the IR. I forgot how old he came in the league, though. Homie gonna be 30. Yeah, I mean, it's rough, man. I traded my last... I had Ricky Pearsall on a couple of teams, and recently just made a Ricky Pearsall trade where I got rid of him in the final team that I had him in. It was a 28 second that I got for Pearsall. I had to give something else back in. I think I gave a 4th round pick, but it was a 28 second for Pearsall and like a 4th. I think that's what the deal was. And I felt pretty good about that one, because if I could get a second, it is just a re-roll, even though it's 2 years into the future. Dixon says, submitted for the trade show, but I got JSN and Javonte for Igbuka, 27 first, and second, 28 first, and Taj Brooks. Thoughts? I'm a strong contender. I do think this is in the trade show here this week. So, Dixon, if you don't mind, I'm double checking right now that it is, because if it is, I do want to save that for you, so we don't spoil the trade show for you. And it is. You'll be trade number 10 in tomorrow's episode, Dixon. So I don't want to spoil it for you tomorrow, but I like it for you. Let's move on to this question here from Jason, who says, strategy question. If you got someone offering an overpay with draft picks for a player, but you're a contender and it doesn't exactly help you win, would you still consider the trade? I think it depends on the player. I mean, if it's a guy that I am going to be relying on a week-by-week basis, I think he's going to be my wide receiver 2, my wide receiver 3. He's going to be a very important flex piece for me. Then I think I'm probably playing cautiously with the draft picks. However, if it's a guy who's on my bench and I sit there and think about it and I have another guy that I could just play in bye weeks and injuries and things like that instead of him, like if you have the depth, I'm all for taking the draft capital and the overpay, because here's the reality with the draft pick here, Jason, is you can sit on that, and if you need it in the future, you can sell that draft pick down the road for a player to fill in if you need the player to fill in. So that's my thought, is you can always just use it as ammo. Tuck it in the back pocket, take your value in right now, and use it in the future if you need it. Let's see. Sucks to suck. What's up, man? Jeremiah Love, Tet, and a 27 late second for Bijan, T. Higgins, and a 27 second. Or wait, 27 mid third. Did I steal Bijan? I mean, Bijan is definitely the most valuable asset here. Quite arguably could be the most valuable asset in Dynasty at this point in time. I'm trying to figure out how much I value that gap between Tetero, McMillan, and T. Higgins. I think in a Dynasty, like long-term thinking, I do think probably T-Mac has quite a bit more value than T, but if you're just a team that's trying to win right now and contend, they probably score similar this year. So it's probably a steal for you if you're a contender. Long-term, you may want Love and Tet if you're playing for the future type of deal, but if you're trying to win right now, I think Bijan and T is a slam dunk. Would love to be in a league that you'd check in on through the season if you did something like that. I guess I'm kind of not understanding. Are you asking me to join a league with you? Or are you asking me to be in a league that you check in on through the season if you did something like that? Or like host a startup. I think that's kind of what you're getting at. It's like host a startup and then check in on that and do content around that league potentially. We've talked about doing a League FFB league where I wouldn't necessarily play in it, but I would stream the draft and I'd react to it and do some things like that. We've talked about doing that. So that would potentially be in the works. Have a rebuilder where my quarterbacks are Darnold and Love. Should I just hold them? I can't really get much motion on either of them, and they're both starters for the next 3 years at least. Yeah, I mean, I have no issue if you want to hold on to those two guys. If you can't get too much, fine, hold on. The reality too here, Dixon, is as you get into season and injuries happen, the market might just heat up on those guys. You know, somebody has a guy like Lamar go down, they needed a quarterback, Jordan Love becomes really enticing. So, you know, there's no issue as a rebuilder holding on to those guys until the market catches up. How long should I hold my 427 late first? And I have my own first that looks like it's going to be the one-on-one. You can hold those, I think, all the way up until the summer of next year. The hype is only going to get more and more and more and more and more crazy as the months go on. And as we start seeing these guys in that 2027 draft class go out to the combine and start working out, man, it's going to be pandemonium. That's just the way that I feel about this class, and that's the way I feel this market's going to react to it. So you can hold them as long as you want, really all the way up until next summer. Pick your side in a full point tight end premium, Jamar Chase and Tucker Kraft or Tyler Warren and CD. Ooh, that is fairly close. I do think I'm going to lean with Jamar Chase and Tucker Kraft. I think Kraft and Warren are closer than Chase and CD are for me in my Dynasty rankings. So it's close, but I kind of just want Jamar Chase here. I think he's the biggest difference maker of them all. I have a startup where I came away with Pickens, Moore, and Tyson as my top 3 wide receivers, strong everywhere else, though. Should I move off these guys for different talent, or do you think Pickens can produce? Depends. It really depends, man, on where you're valuing George Pickens. I mean, I'm going through and updating my rankings on the channel right now, and we've done a lot of the videos. The one that I haven't recorded yet, tight ends, comes out tomorrow, and then Wednesday will be wide receivers. Rough rankings, these are not finalized because obviously the video is not recorded, is George Pickens is in the top 12 for me. So I still kind of have him there. I mean, if you can go get Carnell Tate for him, you could consider the long-term play of Carnell Tate if you want to think about that. Other than that, it's like Igbuka and T-Mac would be the other guys I'm trying to grab. So if you can get those guys, sure. Especially Igbuka and T-Mac. I like those guys more, but overall, I don't think he's a bad hold for you, and I don't think the rest of those guys are bad holds for you either. Sorry, I skipped over this one. Insidious says, as a contender, is a 2027 first and 29 first too much for Mike Evans and McLaurin? I would probably say that's too much. I'm not really trying to give that much for some older rentals. That's kind of the way that I view them right now. I wouldn't do it, man. I can't do it. That's, in my opinion, it's way too much, honestly. I would want to be at the single 27 first for McLaurin and Evans both. I feel like you're overpaying by 129 first. Thoughts on Diggs to the commies? I think he's going to be good, man. I mean, he was good last year for New England. I think this is a good fit for him. The quarterback's going to be an upgrade. Let me calm down. Calm down. The quarterback is going to be a nice fit for his play style. And then you also have the fact that he gets to see number 2 coverage, where he was seeing number 1 coverage last year for the New England Patriots all year long. Another year off of the ACL. So should be a good situation for him. I still think he has like wide receiver 3+ potential this year in Washington. Redraft standard half PPR, 12 teams. Pick 112 and 201. Who should I target there? Again, we're a little bit disconnected from some of the redraft stuff. So honestly, the redraft ADP, I don't even know who would be there. Let's see. I'm doing some quick math for you. But I know we're at the time of the year where some of these questions are going to leak in. And I know not everybody saw last year, too, where we said we kind of were stepping away from the redraft stuff and going full dynasty. It looks like right now, you're kind of at a turn where it's going to be pretty running back heavy. James Cook is a guy that I would definitely be interested in a redraft. Ashton Genty there. You could go Amarian Hampton. You could go Devon Achane, Jefferson, CD. These are kind of the moves it looks like for the most part. It does feel like running back is fairly deep in the second round this year. So if you wanted in your first pick at 112 to take the wide receiver and balance it out with the running back, go like Jefferson and Cook. I think that's a good strategy to just try and balance it with 1-1. What's up, A-Rod? Appreciate you being here, dude. Says, am I bugging for considering moving Jettis for Garrett Wilson and Parker Washington? I'm really falling into the hype train. Yeah, I would not. That's not something that I would be doing myself personally. Strong contender, and I want to win this year. I have Jamar Chase. Do I trade Caleb Williams for Burrow since I think he has a better year, but obviously less future? What can I get on top? Honestly, I don't know how different I would be viewing Joe Burrow and Caleb Williams this year. I really don't think that they're going to be too different. I think Caleb Williams takes another step forward. So for me, when I feel like it's close, or at least it's in the range of outcomes that both of these guys are very close, I'm just going to stick with the younger guy that I think has the longer future, and that's going to be Caleb Williams for me. He's higher in my dynasty ranks. So give me Caleb here, man. And if you're trying to get something on top, I think it's got to be, it's going to sound crazy, but I really think that's where the cost needs to be. You need to be talking like Burrow and a 27 first to down tier Caleb Williams to Joe Burrow. But as you guys saw in my rankings, I have him high. Caleb Williams is my quarterback 3 in Dynasty right now. Yeah, makes sense, Jay Loading. We've talked about it. I think he was referencing, yep. Clutch. Andrew, I just jumped on, bro, but you always are clutch. Greatly appreciate your content always. I appreciate you, Ronnie. You're the GOAT, man. +1 for the League FFB that you could make content for. Streaming the draft and doing check-ins on the season would be super sick. Trade 105 and Monangai for either Judkins or Kyron, or keep pick and draft price. I would be okay making the move for Judkins. I think Judkins is a better talent. So if you can move it over for Judkins, I'd be okay doing that. I don't think Monangai is a deal breaker for me by any means. So price and Monangai for Judkins is fine. However, I'm assuming this is not super flex, because if it is super flex, I don't think price should be in consideration at 105. I think the 105 should be in a super flex, either Mendoza if he falls there, Tate, Tyson, or Lemon. I have all of those guys over price. As a contender, what would you give up for DJ Moore? The reality is I'm trying my best to make it an early second plus. So if it's an early second plus a third, that's fine with me. I'm trying to stay out of that late round, first round territory with him because of his age. And there was some regression from him last year, so I want to know how much of that is true. I think there's some risk with DJ Moore, but yeah, early second plus is what I'm trying to do. If it's a early 27 second and a 28 second, then I think I'm okay pulling the trigger on that. Just trying to, whatever I can do to try and not give up that first, man. Man, I like to hear that for Pickens, but I don't know. I have a bad feeling about the Dallas offense this year. Like, everyone does well, but nobody explodes if they're all healthy. I slightly disagree here, Alex. I think their defense is bad enough that they're going to be playing catch up in a lot of games. I do think that they are a really good offense, man. Like, I do think Dak and Pickens is kind of Chase and T light. They got a better tight end in Ferguson there. I don't know, man. I think a better offensive line in Dallas. Like, I do think that they have the firepower to go out and do what they did again. My big question is more so, is Dak going to stay healthy for the year? Because it feels like every season you have banger Dak Prescott year, injured Dak Prescott year, banger Dak Prescott year. Like, that feels like the trade-off that we always have. Last year was a banger. I mean, history tells us, if you're just following superstitious type of shit, like, it does tell you that, I don't know, man. That's my big worry. If Dak stays up, everybody should be wheels up in Dallas, in my opinion. 100%, yeah, I'd be keeping Caleb Williams. What's up, dude? If you guys haven't checked out, bro, go check out Fantasy Football Garage. He does some best ball content. Candyman, my guy. He had me on his channel last year. We did a best ball draft together. You got to get me again, bro. We got to do one more before the season starts, because then it's going to get busy. I don't know if you're still drafting right now, but hit me up, bro, and hope everything's doing well with you, dude. Let's see. If I were to sell James Cook to a contender, what should I ask for in return? I feel like he's worth more than a late first on its own. Yeah, I mean, honestly, as we're approaching like point scoring season, James Cook is borderline 2 first territory. Like, a late first and a future first, 28 or 29, I think you're more than reasonable to be asking that for James Cook as we get getting into point scoring season, and that team's trying to contend. I think that's kind of a fair ask to be starting for. Rome, Travis, Etienne, Kamara, or Pickens and Dowdle. Yeah, this is interesting. How big of a gap do I have Dowdle and Etienne? You know what? I'm going to go with my gut here, and my gut's telling me to go with Rome and Etienne. I don't think Kamara is really a needle mover for me in this deal at any point now that we're in, got all that competition and obviously his age and it being Dynasty, but I'm going to take the breakout with Rome. I think we saw signs of it last year, and Etienne is the upgrade of the running back. That's what I'm going to go with. What's up? Besides Love and Price, who do you like at running back in this class this season? Besides those two guys, there's not a ton that gets me super, super excited. There are some guys that I do think have value. Nobody who's going to be like day one starters by any means. As I pull this up right now, I'm trying to get this up for you guys because I have this tool for you. It's called FFB Draft Kit. This is what I use for all of my rookie rankings this year. This is what we did for the Dynasty rookie class. I have Jeremiah and Price in my 1 and 2. Jonah Coleman would be my next guy, followed by Washington, Singleton, and Emmett. Emmett was a guy who I really liked the tape. Thought he was super talented. Just obviously going to a situation where they just paid a bag to Kenneth Walker makes it to where I don't know how much work he's actually going to get. However, if you're looking for like the Hail Mary shot in this class, I think Emmett Johnson's a nice one if Kenneth Walker misses time, which he's done so before in the past. And I do think Singleton's nice as a Hail Mary shot. Maybe 2027 because Pollard's in the last year of his deal, and I think so is Spears. So those would kind of be the guys that I would be looking at right now. But if you want to go check out those full rankings, ffbdraftkit.com. Free to go check that out, man. I was ready to throw hands, bro, with how you ranked my dog Bo in the rankings video. Shaking my head. Hurts and Herbert shouldn't be over him. Him and T-Law should be in the same tier. You got them boys in and above. I don't know, man. I like the rushing upside of Hurts and Herbert for sure. I mean, Hurts and T-Law. T-Law showed a lot of rushing upside last year, too. They're all kind of close. I wouldn't argue with you if you really wanted to put Bo up there. I think I would argue with you throwing Bo over Hurts and Herbert, but if you want to throw him over T-Law, I'm not going to argue with you over that. 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 8, Dak, Genty, Love, Jacobs, CD, Neighbors, Rome, Likely, Strange, 227 first. Do I try and shove all in or just ride it out for 2027? Well, the fact that you are sitting on Dak and Jacobs, those are 2 pieces here that I do feel like are in later parts of their career trying to win. And I do think you have the pieces. Genty and Love should be solid. Lamb and Neighbors, man, I'll tell you what, if anything, I don't know if I'm trying to push all of the chips in and go all in. I think I'm going to ride it out, but I am exploring some Jacobs moves if they're hitting my inbox, because he's the one I'm nervous about the most in this lineup, especially because I think, maybe Neighbor starts a little slow. Maybe Jeremiah Love starts a little bit slow. That's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. So Jacobs would be my one guy that I'm exploring offers for at the moment, but everything else I'm kind of sitting on just to see what you got. I'm not pushing the chips in, though. Not super hard. Where do you have Nix in your quarterback rankings? I have him in a contender and not sure if I want to move off for another quarterback down tier and pick up another asset or hold him. Let's pull those up. I will put them on screen right here. I have Nix right now at 12. So he's sitting in the same tier here with Dart, Lawrence, Nix, Purdy. I kind of have him right here. So a top 12 guy, low end QB1. That's kind of just where I got him at. If you were down tiering Nix, I think trying to go down to obviously guys in this tier. If you're a contender, Dak Prescott is interesting. Goff is interesting. Both of these guys are undervalued like on KTC. So I have them much higher than KTC has them, which would make the plus you can get probably even better. So that would probably be what I'm doing. But I like Nix. I think he's a low end QB1. Dixon says, I wasn't playing Dynasty in 2024. Were people down on the draft class like they were in sports media? Felt like everyone was saying it would be a weak class, and we've seen a lot of guys. I think for Dynasty fantasy football purposes, a lot of people were really excited about it. We knew that they had good quarterbacks. We knew that they had some wide receivers that we liked. I think the wide receivers, for the most part, have underwhelmed us based off of the expectation. And we knew in 2024 we had an elite dog in Brock Bowers. So I think in Dynasty, we were pretty jacked up about 2024. Contender, what are you trying to do with Rashee Rice? Do you run it and hope he's good in the redraft lens, or are you trying as hard as possible to pivot? Team is good basically everywhere. He's a guy that I am probably running with right now, and if he goes out and he's producing really heavy in season, I'm okay to try and pivot him once people see, like, yeah, this guy scores points when he's on the football field. But I think you're holding at this point in time to go see him score those points. And I think the points will come. I think they will. Brees in a first. This is in regards to... I don't know what that's in regards to. Honestly. My bad. Keeper league. And I'm keeping Olave for a 7th round pick. I like that, man. I do like that. Traded 2/3 for Jaden Higgins. Good move. Good move for you. I think that's eliminates a lot of the risk in Jaden Higgins. It's just good value. 27 third, likely 301, and a 28 third. I have Neighbors, Lemon, BTJ. Yeah, I think this is a good move, man. You don't really inherit a lot of risk. At thirds, they're just super, super low risk dart throws for the most part. So, yeah, I'm okay throwing a couple of those on guys that I believe in. And if Jaden Higgins is a guy you believe in, then I'm all good with that. Philosophical question. I recently broke the league because I traded for Gibbs. As the reigning champ, people are upset. However, closed mouths don't get fed. Thoughts? I also submitted in the Discord. I think we have this trade on the trade show. But also, my philosophy is the same as you. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you wanted them, you would have offered for them. And don't be mad that the guy at the top of the throne right now, you said you're defending champ. Don't be mad that the king is coming out here and taking heads. Don't be mad about it. And if you are mad about it, come stop me. That's my philosophy. And if you got an issue with that, go find another league, because I don't want to play with soft motherfuckers. I want motherfuckers who are competitive. So come be competitive, god damn it. That's my philosophy, AMJ. Appreciate you, Chef. Thank you. Thank you. Wilson or Harrison Jr.? I'm going Garrett Wilson. Parker or Thomas Jr.? I am Bryant Thomas Jr. over Parker Washington. Since I've referenced it a couple of times, that team has Caleb, Jamar Chase, and Gibbs. No question, just bragging. I like it. I'm coming for that money. I love it. I love it, man. Trade my Walker for DJ Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson, and a 27-second. I have Achane, Hall, Cook, other running backs. I think it's too light. I'd want more compensation than those guys. I think this is the classic. I'm trading my dollar for 4 quarters. That's kind of the move that I'm getting out of this one. Which I don't like doing that usually in Dynasty at all. And I'd argue they don't exist, but this is like 30-cent pieces basically that you're getting, Brandon. So I'm keeping Walker. I'm trying for something else. I'd rather do a 1-for-1 if I'm moving cross positionally somewhere. I'm honestly good with T-Law over Bo. I'm saying Bo and T-Law should be ahead of Hurts and Herbert. Hurts rushing upside has gotten him back-to-back QB8 seasons with Bo at 7 back-to-back, and Herbie hasn't finished higher than Bo since the second year. Yeah, I mean, look, we can talk about what has happened and what has not happened, but we're projecting future also. Herbert hasn't had Mike McDaniel. It hasn't been a thing up to this point. So he has Mike McDaniel now. I think that offense is going to hum at a much faster pace than they have historically. And Herbert last year actually used his legs a ton. His rushing upside was the best in his career last year from a rushing standpoint. So I can hear he hasn't done it before, but I'm trying to project in the future, man. And I can't get away from that Mike McDaniel edition. I think it's too good. And Bo coming off an injury too. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know he says he's not going to stop running, but we'll see. Dart, I forgot you had Dart over him too. LOL, shaking my head. Dart hasn't proven anything. I disagree with you, bro. I disagree. Which side do you got? JSN or Garrett Wilson? 2026 109, 2026 204, and 2027 early second PPR Dynasty. Yeah, I think for me this is going to be JSN. Garrett Wilson is a good player, but the 109 in this year's draft class isn't doing too much for me. Neither is the 204. An early second next year. Just give me the best player, and that's JSN, man. In a Dynasty startup with a point per carry bonus, and Olave fell to me at 6-1. I think that's crazy value compared to ADP. Yeah, I would also agree. I think 601 is pretty far down. I mean, just looking at my rankings right now on where I have him roughly before I finalize him, Chris Olave right now is my wide receiver 13. So, I have him super high, and I just think he's a damn good player, man. And he got the money. He got the payday. Grant says, would you move Dart for Jordan Love and Kyron? Contending team running backs are Genty, Chase Brown, Price have made Dart, Dak. 10-teamer, start 10 PPR. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it at all. I think in a 10-team, if you're asking me like which of these players has the most upside, it probably is Dart. But the fact that you have May and then you will have Love and Dak as well, it feels unnecessary to have all those guys in a 10-man league. So I don't mind taking the down tier to get another running back you can play because I'd be more comfortable playing Kyron Williams right now than I would Jadarian Price right away. Yeah, dude, I know. It's crazy. I think he deserved it. I think he should have got paid, but it's just crazy. The wide receiver market's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. Every year, us Chargers fans say it's our year, but it's our year. If the Chiefs stay down and the Broncos come, I like it, man. I got no dog in the race, but all I know is if we were sitting here talking about Justin Herbert, like I said, I think Justin Herbert's a damn good ball player. So, all right, folks, we are caught up. I do want to remind you guys at home, we go for about an hour, so we got about 20, 25 more minutes, as long as the questions keep flowing. If you guys got questions, throw them in the chat. I'm going to get to as many of them as I can before we get on out of here. I've been moving a little bit fast. I do want to slow it down just a little bit, ask you guys mainly more than anything, if you're enjoying the content, if you've asked a question and I've answered it, do me the favor, hit the like button. Additionally, I want to tell you guys a little bit about something we are doing. I mentioned it in the Discord. I'm pulling it up right now. So give me just a short period of time here. But we are hosting a survivor pool here this year for the League FFB. I will share my screen so you guys can see. Hold on, why is it not sharing? Here you go. Yeah, we're doing a survivor pool. Shout out ChatGPT for the quick survivor logo. I was too lazy to do anything else, but I think it looks cool. We're doing a survivor pool this year. If you guys are not members of this Discord, it's free to join. So if you're watching on the replay, go in, join this Discord. We're doing a survivor pool. It's $20. Basically, for you folks at home who don't know what survivor is, you haven't played a survivor pool before, it's very simple. Every single week, you get to select one NFL team. If that team wins its game, you survive the week, you move on to the next week. If your team loses, you are eliminated, you no longer get to play. So that is basically how it goes. Every single week, you have to pick one team. Once you pick a team to use, you cannot use them again. So if I pick the Chiefs in week 1, I cannot pick the Chiefs in week 2. They're grayed out for the rest of the season. I cannot pick them again. It's just something fun to do. Last year, we did a little bit of we did something similar. This year I did Survivor Pool. I think it's fun. I enjoy, spending some time with you guys and getting another league where we can kind of talk. It's low risk, low stakes. I say jump in there if you guys want to. If you want to support the channel, you want to come hang out with me, you want to talk on Sundays, you want some bragging rights, you want a chance to go win some money, because at the end, if you make it to the end and, you haven't been eliminated the entire season, that prize pool gets split amongst all of the winners. Or if you're the only one who is left standing, you get everything. So $20, come join it if you want to. But that is just what I wanted to talk about there real quickly. Let's get back into these questions though. Let's see. Insidious says Herbert to the moon. I like it. 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium. What can I move JMO for? Good question. I think JMO these days is such a tough eval. I kind of have JMO in that like high-end wide receiver 3, low-end wide receiver 2 territory. He's probably a guy you can get a first for, but you're probably not going to get too much more than a first. So if you're trying to sell him, I do think you're trying to re-roll him for a future 27 first and then use the draft pick to go buy a player if you'd like to. So I think you're at like a mid to late 27 first. Hey, Rod, go outside and touch some grass, bro. Breathe, bro. It's all good. Zay making more than Bijan and Gibbs is nuts, and I'm totally a Zay guy. Sucks to be a running back. Yeah, it's crazy. Also, Alex, you know me. Zay's making more money. I went over this shoulder because it's mirrored in my... Zay's making more money than my boy, bro. Like, it's kind of crazy, dude. I can kind of get her because Mike and he's talented. I get it, but Dart, Aaron, I'm gonna let you live, bro. I'm just gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go, bro. You keep screaming into the void, bro. I'm gonna let you live in there now. It's all love, though. You know that. Would you trade a late 27 first and a mid 28 first and a late 27 second for Genty on a rebuilder? Yeah, I mean, I would give 2 firsts and a second for Genty, even if I'm rebuilding. So yeah, I'd probably do it because I think Genty is worth more than this already. Even if it's just a value win for you to flip Genty down the road, sure. But this is a value win trade for me, and in my rebuilds, I'm always just trying to win value and stack value. How are we feeling about Rashid for the future? Do I move Pickens for him plus a little piece on top to try to get depth? I am less bullish on Rashid for the future because I don't know how his off the field antics are going to affect the long-term contract extension. That's kind of my worry with him. So how do I feel about him long-term? I'd say my worry meter on him long-term is like, or I guess my risk meter on Rashee Rice long-term is like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Like I'm kind of into that range. Where do I feel with Pickens? Just for comparison, I think Pickens is like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 on the risk meter. So that's kind of where I'm at with those guys. I probably would rather hold Pickens unless the piece you are getting is substantial. If we're talking a first, yeah, I'd make the move. But if it's not, then that's that. And I like that, A-Rod. I like that. That's the way you got to do it. iKill says, I grabbed Cyrus Allen late in rookie drafts and off waivers everywhere. People are asking his price. Am I crazy to just hold even if it's a 27-2? Okay, this is a great question because as you guys know, I kind of have been talking about Cyrus Allen a little bit in some of the preseason content, even the post-draft content. I know we talked about him too. So he's a guy that I have on damn near every single Dynasty team. So he's somebody that I have also had people asking about. What do you want for Cyrus Allen? Where I'm at today, iKill, is a 27-second. I'm considering it. I am. I think if it's a 27-second, you're probably going to have Cyrus Allen on your team because I'm probably going to take my value in on the second-round pick and move on. Anything less than that, if it's a third or a fourth, fuck out of here. I would rather just hold Cyrus Allen. But a second, it gets me thinking. So for your question, are you crazy to hold if it's a 27-second? I don't think you're crazy. People see some Puka Nacua, comparisons. That's a very outlierish situation. I would take my second and run. Exactly. I got Jonathan Brooks, and my boy offered a 27-second, but I feel Brooks is going to take off and be worth more. What do you think? I've been on the side of the argument of I'm selling Jonathan Brooks for the 27-second if I can get it. So I would sell, but I think you have to ask yourself this question, because if you think he's going to take off, is Jonathan Brooks going to be worth a first-round pick? Is he going to get to 27 first-round pick territory? My answer to that question would be I don't think so. If you think he gets to a 27 first, then he's probably worth a hold for you. I don't think he is. So if he can't improve from a second to a first, I might as well take the second that's on the table today. Yeah, 2 feels good, man. I think the best I got offered was a third. And it was like the third, I'd rather just keep Cyrus. But bro, with him is... he's saying Cyrus. Yeah. Well, there you go. Absolutely, man. Appreciate you. All right, folks. Where are we at? I think we're all caught up again. So again, if I've answered your question, hit that like button. If I haven't answered your question, you got a question, throw one in the chat, man. I like that. Sometimes when we get caught up, I get a chance to go to take a drink of water because I feel like sometimes we just rip through this. But man, other than that, we talked about the Diggs stuff. Debo signing over to the San Francisco 49ers is interesting to an extent, only because of the Ricky Pearsall injury. He's a guy that I felt like dynasty value-wise was pretty shot. But there's a chance that Debo is somewhat productive this year, especially when you look around that wide receiver core and you have guys like Mike Evans, who's older and dealing with injury at times, George Kittle off of the Achilles, DeJon Stribling. I think it's more wheels up for Stribling right now, but that's kind of another piece of news that we haven't talked about today that has happened recently. So we got this one that says 10 team, 1 quarterback, 1 PPR, no tight end premium, top 2 team contending, trying to get 1 more wide receiver. Thoughts on Jadarian Price plus 26,205 for Burden, or Josh Downs, my probably late 27 first. Is this enough? If it's Price in the 205 for Burden, I'm okay going to Burden if I need the wide receiver. I think that's a fine price. Josh Downs in your late 27 first for Burden is also a fine price. Of those two, I would probably rather do the late first and Downs for Burden if I had to pick between the two. Anybody else I'm missing hype on that's jumping up like Cyrus or Beck? I don't know if there's a ton of them right now. I mean, as preseason goes on, we're obviously going to get more of that. I do think, with... I'm pulling up Sleepers Trending right now because Haynes King is a guy we mentioned. Haynes King, had a good game for the Carolina Panthers. I think he's somebody that you're only paying attention to, though. I see that he's been picked up in like 23,000 sleeper dynasty leagues. I think that's a little bit crazy, but he's a guy, if you're in a 14-team, 16-team super flex, super deep benches, then maybe you put him on a taxi. Other than that, dude, we haven't had too much hype. Eli Raridan's been getting a little bit of hype as a potential, tight end guy for New England. I don't know if he overtakes Hunter Henry this year, but he was getting some buzz pre-draft. He's been getting some buzz in the preseason. So has Caleb Douglas in Miami. Miami's wide receiver core is wide open, so maybe Caleb Douglas actually ends up being the guy. They drafted him early, so they believe in him. And then other than that, Keaton Mitchell's been getting some hype as the handcuff option for Hampton. He's been used, downfield as a receiver, so reportedly in camp. So that's kind of like the hype pieces at the moment. If you needed one last flex for a win now team and only had a 28 first to really work with, who would you try and target? I think the first, again, I'd throw the first out for like, depending on where the teams are at, you have to find the right team, a team that's rebuilding or moving into the future, looking into the future, like a late 28 first for J-Mo, Jalen Waddle. Can you get Christian Watson, like Jordan Addison, Terry McLaurin? Like these are the names that I'd be looking at for flex options. If you're looking at the running back position for a single late 28 first, or can I go buy Bashal Tutin if you believe in Bashal Tutin? Does the Josh Jacobs manager have fears and you can buy Jacobs? Like those are the names you're looking at. Javonte Williams, those would be names. '49ers are terrifying. That substation, it's crazy, man. It's insane. I think we saw something that said like 28 players added to the injury report or something like that in the first week of training camp, or 23 players, something. I saw something that was crazy. I saw the number and I was like, insane. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Burden's hype is crazy, though, so I feel like his values are ranged all over the place. No problem, Ronnie. Traded 27 seconds and got Harvey and Reed. What are your thoughts? I like that, man. I like that. I think these two players are undervalued right now in the current trade market, and seconds are... I'm always willing to throw a second to somebody to get players that I think can be playmakers on my fantasy team, and I think both of those guys can be. I like Raridan a lot. Big Notre Dame fan here, and the kid has talent. Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, outside of Hunter Henry, I don't know how much he takes from Henry this year, but long-term, it should be open. And obviously, the wide receiver core with A.J. Brown getting added, still behind him. I know Dobbs was signed. Still have some guys there like Kayshon Boutte, but I don't know, man. Like, there's opportunity to be had, and if Raridan's talented enough, he can take some of that. Who has a better year between the second-year tight end studs, Warren or Loveland? Hot take. I have Loveland higher in my rankings. I would probably draft Loveland over Warren, but I do think Warren has a better shot at outproducing Loveland this year. And that is because Daniel Jones, coming off of the injury, is likely going to be throwing a little bit more of these short yardage type of passes. And that's going to be where Warren's living. There's less target competition this year. That can change in the future. But I think there's a chance for Warren to get more this season. So if I had to bet, my life savings on one of them, it's probably Warren. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'd be. But I think that's it. So we have caught up again. I know we're a little bit early. We've caught up a few times, but that's okay. Busy Friday night. Folks are hanging out. So we are going to wrap this one up a little bit early. I appreciate you guys for coming in and hanging out. We will not be live streaming on Friday actually, I'll answer this one more. I see this coming in too. I'm going to save these questions. I'm going to kind of go on my monologue, but then I'm going to answer these on the way out. But, we are not going to be doing a live stream next week. I'm out of town. I leave Friday morning to go to St. George, Utah. So I'm I'm going to be going and hanging out with some family, golfing, doing some fun stuff, but we will not be live streaming on Friday. We will be back for the following Friday, and then we might need to take one more week off because I'm going to be in Vegas for a fantasy football draft. So it's kind of a mess this month, but we're going to be back rolling for the Friday Q&As shortly. And then in season, we're going to be doing a bunch of streams in season. I think we have like 2 streams a week in season, or 3 streams a week in season. Yeah, it's 3 streams a week. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So that's that. iKill says, what time do you stream tomorrow? We do not stream on Saturdays, but we do have our Dynasty trade show that always comes out at, what is it? It's 11. Yeah, no, 12 Central. So 12 Central, our trade show comes out every single Saturday. Hatley says, how did you become a Vikings fan? Are you from Minnesota? I'm not actually. I'm not from Minnesota. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. But funny enough, as a kid, you know, you don't really have a lot of reasons as to why you pick your favorite teams. However, I had reason to pick my favorite basketball team as a kid. I liked the Los Angeles Lakers. I was from Las Vegas. The Lakers were always on TV because we were right there and we got all of the LA channels. Kobe Bryant is my guy. So I watched Kobe all the time. What are the 2 things that the Vikings and the Lakers have in common? Purple and yellow. I picked the Vikings as a kid because they had purple and yellow, and it matched my room, which was painted purple and yellow, as a Lakers fan. So that's what went into it. I've been a fan since then. Obviously, was a big fan of AP, big fan of Stephon Diggs in those years. Like I've been watching football for not as long as I've been watching basketball. I grew up playing basketball, watching a ton of basketball, but I picked that team originally because of the purple and yellow bedroom in my childhood bedroom. It matched. It made it easy. It made it easy to throw Viking stuff on the wall and have a 2-for-1 type of bedroom. And it says, this was my first time catching a live stream, but thanks for your time. I'll definitely try. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and checking it out. It means a lot. Like I said, we do this every Friday. So come tap in and tap into some of the pre-recorded content. We got a lot of stuff on here too. And I appreciate you, man. So thank you. But that's it, folks. We are all caught up again. So I will be getting on out of here. Again, no live stream for next Friday, but you guys will see more content this week. Tight end rankings coming, wide receiver rankings in Dynasty Fantasy Football, trade show tomorrow, another trade show next week, all that good stuff. Lots of stuff on the way, so I appreciate you guys. But nothing else for you today. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.